something I got to talk about, Pete Rose. And 7 months after his death now, Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred, notably Rose and a couple dudes from the Black Sox scandal from 1919, the Chicago White Sox, obviously, their gambling scandal with Shoeless Joe Jackson. I think there was another guy too. They're now eligible to be voted into the Hall of Fame. They're just eligible, right? I thought a great quote or a great tweet from Bob Ryan. Let's share that right now. This was something I thought was phenomenal. Pete Rose will now be eligible for the Hall of Fame in consideration. Never forget that while Pete Rose may have loved baseball more than anyone on earth, he loved gambling more. And I think that is a reflection into Pete Rose himself, right? And I grew up in Philadelphia. I was a kid, very young, like super young, like 2, when the Phillies won the 1980 World Series. I actually remember when they got eliminated in the 1983 World Series, a World Series where Pete Rose wasn't even playing every day at that point in time in Philly, and that led to him leaving the Phillies to go play for the Expos. Ultimately, after the Expos, he's recruited back to Cincinnati to be a player manager. Great for the Reds at the time, great for baseball at the time. And the Reds were actually super competitive. They could never get over the hump, but they constantly were competing in the NL West, usually falling to about second or third by the time the season would come to an end. And then, obviously, everything broke. I think it was prior to the 89 season. And Pete gets a lifetime ban from baseball. Now, here is my quick assessment of the situation. Pete Rose was a champion on the field. He literally, he was the kind of guy, after winning championships with the Reds, where he was so instrumental, right? He comes over to Philadelphia, infuses that winning DNA into the the Phillies clubhouse. I think he married an Eagles cheerleader when the Eagles were wearing helmets like this. So there you go. And but he was kind of a loser off the field. There's enough evidence there, and I think you can look no further than the way he handled this scandal. Gambling, you're talking to somebody who's 13 years sober, right? And it took me 10 years to get 1 year. Right? Addiction is an MFer, right? As gambling addiction, I've never had that addiction, but I can't even imagine how bad it is, right? But I certainly had the other addiction. And I know that the freedom for me came, and my ability to live a life literally beyond my wildest dreams was admitting that I had all these problems. You got to come clean. And I wasn't Pete Rose, so it was probably a little easier for me. But Pete lied about it. He got caught, and then he lied. And the crime was nowhere near as bad as the cover-up. And even till his dying day, he never admitted that he bet on the Reds or bet while he was a player, right? And then there's so much evidence, mountains really, and it was uncovered in, I think, 2015 by ESPN, that he, in fact, did bet on baseball as a player manager for the Reds. So there you got check 2 boxes, right? As a player and a manager. And, there's so many other stories about Pete's personal life that just sort of show you, man, this guy probably wasn't the best dude. And if he had admitted immediately, or even before he died, if he just came clean about everything, I think the conversation would have been much different. And I think the conversation probably would have taken a big time turn 10, 15 years ago, but he never did that. And the issue he's up against now, I would love to see him get into the Hall of Fame just because I'm maybe part degenerate like Pete, I guess. And he brought so much to my life, so much value when I was a kid. And I think he brought a lot of value to sports in general because, growing up, you want to be like Charlie Hustle, right? Just an all-time winner. But the issue is, again, how he handled it off the field. And for anyone that's in Pete's camp now, as he's been passed away, died 7 months ago, is the sports writers that have to vote him in potentially, they probably won't do it either. So even though you're excited, they probably won't vote him in either. And if they do, they can't vote on it. Their next vote is coming up on these guys will be December of 2027. So like the Menendez brothers have like a much better shot of smelling freedom real soon than Pete Rose, the late Pete Rose, and his supporters do of smelling the inside of the Hall of Fame, right? And him being enshrined, which sucks, but that's just where we are. And the circumstances suck because Pete lied. And he lied again and again, and he's got to be accountable for that. And it hurts for me to say it. Again, I would vote him in, but just because I would. I just would. I think his contributions to the game they outweigh his transgressions. But, you know, I don't get a vote. And I'm not, you know, part of the criteria, if you look at it, and I looked at it, is character, you know, and, geez, I don't know. So more will be revealed on Pete Rose. More will be revealed on the Pete Souza show.